Oh, fuck. Computer way too much. Test, test. There we go. All right, let me know if if it starts sounding funky or anything. Test, test. All right, sounds good. Okay. All right, that's good to go. Let's go to Trading View and get it on like Donkey Kong. It's way too aggressive. That's gotta go. Let's change it to. Let's just get rid of that. It's kind of a negative vibe from that. All right, get this out the way. All kinds of stuff, bro. Not so much lately the strategy stuff, but more like content, like going through my stats and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. Right now they got the access to Fable, which is pretty sick. So yeah, some pretty cool. You can do, bro. I'm pretty sure now with that Fable, I don't know if he's not in here, but what's his name? Yeah, got the whole SIR strategy done with it. Oh, isn't it, bro? Yeah, I hit Geo up, man. I was like, what's up, dude? All right, let's go to Nasdaq here. So see what it did the last 2 days since I didn't trade. So Wednesday night into Thursday morning, I spent all night finishing that Lucid video, and I like uploaded it like 3 a.m. and I was like, oh, I'll set my alarm just for like 2 hours to like close my eyes for a minute, and I didn't wake up until like 4 p.m. Was like, what the hell happened? And then I did it. Then I stayed up late again until like 1 a.m. Went to bed and woke up like mid afternoon on Friday. Like, damn. So yeah, I didn't get a trade Thursday or Friday. My counts didn't get trading days on them. Kind of silly. Looks like I didn't miss much though. Okay. I just wanted, like, when I zoomed out, I couldn't see different colors. All right, there we go. All right. So we'll go back and then we'll start just like we always do. We'll start forward, work our way forward. Since the 6th. I talked to Eric Thursday. Yeah, Friday looks especially kind of crazy. What's up with that wick? I bet a lot of people got stopped out on that. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a nasty wick, man. 282 point wick. That's crazy. All right, let's go back. The 6th was Monday. Kind of what we really didn't move all week. If you look at back in this week, we really closed where we ended up at. Like literally, which is crazy with all the it doesn't make any sense. We should be like crashing down because the war's back on, like full on. Yeah, we literally closed the exact same spot. So we got probably a bullish doji week. Oh, we know about that. Oh, we discussed this earlier. It's doing the U-shape thing. That's what it is. Okay. It's doing the daily U. Yeah, we're good. We already knew it. I already knew this was coming. Oh, nice, bro. Game dev stuff. Cool. It's a lot of money in that, especially with AI, and probably makes it really easy these days. Because like I feel like most the public hasn't caught on to what AI can do yet. They're just like oblivious to like what you can do with it. I think a lot of people are still paying for stuff that you could like just in a 30-second have AI bust it out. All right, I'm gonna go to another chart here, the other NQ chart. So I don't mess this one up. With this many people, we should have just went to the voice chart. Let me know if you guys want to. I'm down to. There's only like 80 views, so. All right, so we'll start on Sunday the 5th. Work our way forward. So something I wanted to do was clarify like what an A plus setup is. And so we're not wasting time on stuff that's not A plus. So I think a criteria for A plus trade would be at least 5 plus R, I think. I'd have to look at our previous studies. See what the average is, I guess. Um, 17, 25, 15, 12, 14. I think my estimate may have been way off there. Let's kind of go through these randomly here. Some 7, 5, 11, 14. Yeah, I think 5. I think 5 is like a good bare minimum for like an A plus 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 trade. So that's like criteria one or combined edges, low risk, defined as like, I don't know, under 30 points. So that would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So it'll be plus 150 points. And then that will give us like a, for NASDAQ anyways, give us like at least a, so we can look at a setup and be like, okay, it's not 150 points. We shouldn't waste our time with it. It's not, or it's more than 30 points of risk. We shouldn't risk points. I think pretty much every A plus setup definitely has a cracking correlation with it, right? And some kind of high time frame element, like redelivery element, whether it be a gap or whatever. And then I think that's a good starting point. What do you guys think? Yeah, you should check it out. It's free until I think tomorrow. Actually, the Fable is. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we opened up on Sunday last week, kind of like right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of this range here. Kind of a shitty way to start the week. With no gap down either. Okay. Yeah, so no gap, no real like anything going on really at the opening here. And then it looks like it attempts to redeliver all the way down here on Nasdaq. Let's see if it gets there or not. Now that we have the criteria, we can look and say, okay, that's a crazy. It doesn't even look that big. The ranges are out of control. Yeah, so that was a 300-point move down in Asia session. That's crazy. So Nasdaq got there. I mean, ES got there. Nasdaq did not. Yeah, there's not a cracking correlation. There is there. I think there is 810. Yeah, there was. All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't like this setup here. I'm not really a big fan of it. Let's just keep it moving. I've tried to change my charts, but I can't do it. It's bugging me. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. Put it back to how it was. I'm so finicky about my charts. Drives me nuts. Okay. Let's move it on here. So then Monday morning, what do we got going on here? Not much, eh? So there's a cracking correlation at the opening here. We got ES like in a really nice trend up. It looks like it's trying to redeliver that drop down from the previous Thursday. Oh, I remember this. It just keeps going, right? I think I remember this. Yeah, beautiful pullbacks. We're gonna look at that. That one right there, I think, is right at the turnaround time. Yeah, that one right there is pretty fire. No, it's not at the turnaround time. But it's a really nice pullback there. That's a fucking crazy move. Yeah, it's definitely fits the criteria. Yeah, let's see what it did here. So we have this big old balance area right here. But it didn't get all the way in it. So I think it looks like it went into that very last doji there and then reversed from there. Yeah. And then that would be right there on ES. Yeah, very, like, right, this is interesting. I saw this a little bit last week, though. Seemed like there's a lot more disconnect between ES and NQ than usual. So Nasdaq starts pulling back and 2 legs down while ES is in a broadening formation and continues the broadening formation for quite some time while Nasdaq's already broke that low. ES already took out that high. So there's a really big cracking correlation there. And like Nasdaq's making new lower lows while ES makes another new high at 1 p.m. That's all the way down here. So huge disconnect, which we know that these disconnects, when they happen, it's kind of like it's going to kind of inform us of what we should kind of expect is something like this to happen sometimes, not all the time. Beautiful little baby broadening formation though. Yeah, it's pretty funny looking. Let's see why ES popped up there. So we look to the left. So it looks like it had previously tried to get up here and then it kind of failed to. Let's see if that was why. Yeah, so you had half back to balance there. In the previous, it had tried to get up here and it looks like it came up short. Wasn't able to get to the half back, and then we finally got the half back there. So that kind of explains it. And this would be like one of those prime examples where everyone would be like, oh, it ran the liquidity. I just don't think they look left. And if you look left, there's usually an answer. Sometimes, obviously, there isn't, but most of the time, there's an answer. And there's another example of the backfill of the gap there. Let me screenshot that real quick. I'm going to make a video on that here soon. Yeah, so this gap here got filled there on that drop. And then price came back, backfilled it there. And then created another gap. It's very interesting. But it almost seems like it did there. I think that might be a coincidence. I'm not going to count that one. It looks like it already did it right there. Yeah, can't count that if it's already had that. Gotta have some kind of criteria for that shit. All right, so we got big cracking correlation. All right, and then we got ES going half back to balance. So you have it's actually a really good setup here. With all these things kind of combined, it all kind of comes together into a really nice setup here. So we got the higher time frame redelivery. We have the high time frame cracking correlation. We have a prolonged difference in the way they're reacting. Because the only thing is I don't like how it didn't redeliver there. Aha, it is. Okay, that's much better. Okay. So 11:51, kind of late in the afternoon too. And this is actually pretty nice because you had this big drop down that probably sucked in a bunch of shorts, and then they're all stopped out here. And so right there you have another cracking correlation with the exact like perfect half active balance. I think that's pretty clean there. There's really no entry into that. Not much of one. I mean, I don't really see a low time frame entry to get into it. You would have to have just pulled the fucking trigger and just went with it. Just not an A+ setup to me. All right, so it was a big waste of time, but you can still looking at the different ways it developed and showed itself, it's pretty good study either way, but there's no real hey, what up, brother? There's no real way to enter there. To catch that full drop there anyways. What's up, my dude? How you doing, brother? Jeez, that drop there on a Nasdaq is crazy. Okay, I like this one because it went to that area that was kind of like left open there. It's definitely an Asia session turn setup. All right, let's take a look at this here. So we open up, like again, kind of in the middle of the range. Asia session opened up kind of in the middle of the range. Again, kind of a tough cookie there. So right there, you get the Asia session turn, like straight blast through the 4 p.m. price. And you do get this like low time frame SIR entry, but I really don't like trading the Asia opening until after 6:30 usually, 7 usually actually. I think we caught this on stream, part of this on stream if I remember right. So you could have entered it on the low, you got a low time frame SIR. I just don't know if I would have took it, but see if it gives another entry here. On ES, it gives a really nice secondary entry there. And we got the target all the way down here. So the target's actually got this open loop here, but looks really clean. First pullback of the trend there. All right, so we have the expansion down, you got like first leg down there. So this would have been probably your entry there. It just would have been kind of tough because it didn't respect that strong high. There's no cracking correlation. Let's see if another setup manifests here. And this is why I usually wait until later, because usually what happens during Asia is this in the beginning. I try to avoid this at all costs. I tried to do it the week before last, try to trade the first hour. And this is usually what happens, right? You get this like this, where it's just price goes one way, comes back, and then you just get a range, which is really hard to trade. There's no real direction to it. Kind of choppy, kind of hard to trade. So it's kind of what happened here too. You get that initial first, 45-minute hour range. And then there comes like that 8 p.m. volatility. Yeah, I don't know if I would say this is A+ either. Because I don't want to study something I was thinking about last week. I think I was being a little bit too easy with like, yeah, we could have caught that, but in reality, like some of things weren't checking out. So I want to make sure that was one of my goals this week, is to be more strict with like the criteria. So we make sure we're like have the right expectations and for catching setups, and not having like this magical type shit in our head and it not being able to be, that's just not reality. It can't be met. So let's see if it doesn't mean it won't print another setup that is decent like that. I don't think that entry is very bad there, and it's still really nice move. I don't know if it's in the 150 point range. Yeah, it is. Which then this will also be good, because then instead of like trying to top tick trades, we can actually look at trades from like okay, even if you get half of this move here, it is actually still a very, very, very nice trade. So there's a low time frame cracking correlation there. I can fuck with this. Won't support, turn resistance. Not too bad. Yeah. I think this one definitely is. That one there, I don't know. It's a little bit. It broke a strong high on the lower time frame. Didn't respect the market structure like it should have. I probably wouldn't have taken it. But this one, I definitely think this entry here is A++. All right. We have our criteria here. It's got a clear big drop there with like 20 candles in a row. Really clean reason for it to redeliver. And I like this one a lot too, because the target's pretty clear. That you got an open loop down there. It's your first pullback of that whole move up. It's also a broadening formation. So there's a lot to kind of line up with it. All right, and then we have like lower time frame cracking correlation there as well. So ES takes out that high there, Nasdaq does not. Here's the low time frame SIR kind of setup. There's a strong low break. This is the failure swing here. And there's your entry. So you got the high time frame higher time frame cracking correlation, low time frame entry model, with a high time frame redelivery target. Check. Triggered at 10:18 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. my time. So yeah, like one support, flipped resistance. Yeah, it's got everything. I think it's a good example of a really good trade. All right, let's list it out. So we have high time frame, open loop. first pullback. Targets. The target's almost as important as the like the setup, right? Like with the target, it makes a hell of a lot easier. And then we have the cracking correlation on the 3 minutes and any time frame under that. And then you got the low time frame redelivery. It's also probably a 70% pullback. Strong high test. So now you guys see like the strong high. So you have cracking correlation, redelivery, strong high test, 70% retracement. And then you have, then on top of that, you even put the SIR entry, like shit. And then 1 minute entry model. Very good. So a lot of stars line up on this one setup here. And you get like a secondary one support turn resistance entry there. Which that entry is the second entry there is not too bad. Market structure stays intact. I obviously would have scaled out there though. And targets hit right there, which was this first pullback here from the previous week's Asia low here. And this beautiful balance area here that's never been tapped into, open loop. And you got this little low time frame strong high there. Looks like it's about to get broken. Yeah, out right there for sure. All right, let's look at risk to reward here. So you would have to risk the half back for sure. So about 20 points. 20 to make 174 is pretty good math there. You really can't go wrong. Yeah, 20 to make 155. It's pretty good math. And then that one trade, if you actually can catch that, it's too much risk to do it with full size contracts, but I mean, maybe you could have waited for the SIR entry, put your stop above there, and you probably could have got away with it. Then it would have been 8 points, but it's still probably just better to take it with micros. All right. Takes so long to do these, but I think it's super worth it. And so now prices redelivered. I would say it's probably not done. We have to look at ES here, but so Nasdaq's taken out this low from the previous night. ES is not. Yeah, it actually goes to half back right there, like to the tick. But you have a really big redelivery is complete right there. You have a big crack in correlation. I think this is a good half back to balance trade here, probably. Just would I'd probably readjust this balance area to down there. Sellers sold, buyers bought, and sellers sold. So, and then buyers bought, then sellers sold one last time for the big move. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we got a strong high break right there. Change in the market structure with the high time frame crack and correlation. V-shape recovery type shit. Whenever it starts doing that, I'll look for a 50% retracement. Yeah, that one would have been tough because the week before, not this last week, but the week before that, like every pullback was no matter what, like 2 legs down. And this is only 1 leg down. So I would have been a little bit hesitant this week, but let's have V-shape recovery type shit right there. Didn't really pay that much though. Honestly, not that. I guess it's probably like 300 points, but yeah, it's 112. Not really A++. If he had gotten in at the low, maybe, but beautiful redelivery here. Right back to that area there. Undeniable as usual. I don't remember this day at all. Tuesday. Now let's take a look at that opening drop there. That's crazy. Damn. All right. Oh, this is a gap fill day. I remember this. Yeah, I remember this. It's that day where ES went to the top of this gap, but Nasdaq filled its gap and went lower. We caught some of this. Not quite all of it, but we caught a good majority of it. Yeah, I remember this because I called it perfectly. I called exactly where it was going to everything about it. I wish it would just say the fucking day on there. I don't think it says day. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, we caught it. Yeah, there's the move down. Yep. All right. Then it had that early morning turnaround time. Yeah, there it is. You can see it clear there. Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to say some shit like we caught it and then it didn't actually do it. Keep it 100. Yeah, because it redelivered up to here. Really clean redelivery. Like to the take, pretty much super fucking clean. Giving like A++ entry, and then ES went and filled the gap, Nasdaq filled the gap. We don't need to go over it because we caught it, but I think I even caught the beginning of the move up and then into the stream because I had max profit on my accounts. But this is a beautiful SIR trade right here. We can go over this. So this is a really good setup because it had the all the criteria met. You had the Kraken correlation, you had the gap fill on Nasdaq. Yeah, so we had opened up here, filled the gap, went through it. ES did not. So this is that low on ES. So you had a beautiful Kraken correlation there. So you had all the, like a lot of elements for both the move down and up. And this is like a textbook SIR setup here. Definitely gave you that structural invalidation reversal right here. There's your strong high. Strong high break right there. And there's your 80% retracement. Yeah, beautiful. And it even had the redelivery back to that first doji there. Yeah, who's all here? Like nobody. If you guys got any questions about SIR, this is like a best example of it. You know, as far as a bullish example, it's extremely clean. right at my turnaround time here, 10:45 to 11:15. The reversal happens. It even follows like the I think it even follows the gap fill theory, time theory. Maybe a little bit late. That's a beautiful SIR right there too. So you get price, and then there's a lot of tells here that this is bullish as well. Like you had the half back to balance that got overshot. Kind of a tell. And you got the perfect redelivery right there. Then you have the lower time frame crack and correlation there as well. ES ends up taking out all these lows here. Nasdaq does not. Yeah, if you guys want the link, here it is. You guys can check. We caught the move down and up. You guys want to play it back and check it out after we're done. So I think the best way to go about this would have been to just drop down to like the 30-second. And then as soon as one time frame, you can quit. Because you could tell here there's nothing else for it to redeliver. I think that probably would have been the safest way to get in. The quickest and the earliest. You could obviously wait it, but I'm pretty sure that's how we did it. And then just right off the bat starts 1 minute, one time framing. You can see the respect to the low time frame, like trend line there too. And then boom, just like crazy profits right off the bat. No pullback really, just straight up. And then you have this really beautiful clean target here. That makes like such a beautiful, easy target for Bryce. Again, the target is just about as important as the setup itself. The higher time frame redelivery for target is gonna really make it super easy to hold because it's gonna be super noticeable what it needs to do. Right, like bam, like that's an A+ fucking setup if I've ever seen one. So you had the A+ setup down, and then traded it to and fro. Yeah, it's a crazy set of circumstances there. I think I got shooken out on the way down here, and then I think I re-entered somewhere maybe right here, but I got shaken out on that retracement there. But even from here to there is 250 points there, and then one time frame means ending right there, 162 up. That's almost 500 points. We'll have to see if it keeps one time framing here. Looks like it does. Alright, so it ends right there. Yeah, so risk 27 points to make 154. Not too shabby. All right, so we had so whenever there's a gap, something just to note. So let's say we like right here we had a gap from like right there, just eyeballing. I think it was like somewhere from like right there to there. That was a little bit higher actually. That was way higher than I thought. Never mind. On ES, we can look at it on ES. But what I was getting at is anytime like you have a gap, let's say that that's the gap there, and we go under it and then kind of chop around it, and then we get back above it, that's usually a bullish sign. Not all the time, but you can use gaps as like information, the way price treats them. This gap was so nutty and so far away. I think it actually keeps going much higher, but yeah, I still think that's pretty good stuff. So we had the downside gap fill. Redelivery completed. Higher time frame. We're also at the bottom of a range, in a range. Like if you look at the hourly chart and kind of zoom out, like we had talked about this on Sunday of last week, like we should not be expecting breakouts this week. We should be expecting pullbacks that don't continue. So we're at the bottom of a range. Trading on the edge. With the high time frame crack and correlation, and then you get the market structure break, and then the SIR entry with redelivery complete in a turnaround time. Like it's almost so many things that makes me sick to my stomach a little bit. It makes me a little queasy naming them all off. Hey, that would be a good song. That would be a good song. We made a song. I had someone make it for me with my lyrics that I came up with. There's a couple different versions. I didn't download. P-Trades came up with them. I don't know where that person went though. I don't know what happened to him. Fuck to go. Jeez Louise. Bro, stop. Ugh. What porn? What you talking about? Yeah, there you go. I like the first one personally. No, I definitely wouldn't have that on my computer. That's for damn sure. I learned my lesson when I was like 14. Mom came home, turned on the computer. Like, it was a brand new computer, dude. It was like, computers just came out, dude. Like, and my mom had spent thousands of dollars on this computer because my brother was like into gaming. And we came home from like, I had a basketball game or something. I remember came home, my brother turned on the computer and he was just like, what the, and it was like a girl spread eagle on the fucking desktop, dude. Just like, and we couldn't get it to go away. It would not go away. Just a bitch spread eagle, horn down loud, dude. I don't even know if it was me, bro. I think it's probably my brother, but I got blamed on me. Um, and it like it pretty much ruined the computer. My mom was super pissed. What's my favorite genre of music? Shit, that's kind of tough, man. Probably like good rap with like good lyrics. I like it all though. I like country. I like rock. I don't really like headbanging rock. I'm not really into that. Um, yeah, 90s through 2000s. Yeah, when 50 Cent was like decent, like that era, Eminem style. Yeah, I can share my playlist with you, dude. The songs I like. No, YouTube music, bruh. That's not the one. There we go. There's... Oh, that's the one I was looking for. Yeah, it's got them all on there. Yeah, no, Cloud Code's gonna have to get off my computer, dude. It's just like sucking it dry. It's like that when I was trying to edit a video the other day. All right. So yeah, you guys. Hopefully, if you guys got any questions, shoot them. Like this is the setup. If you got any questions around the SIR setup? If you just need a little refresh on it, whatever, maybe. I would definitely. This is a good example to go through it. All right, we got some people typing. That's what's up. Well, maybe you choose the higher time frame. I'm not sure what, I can't remember in the moment, but I think if we look, I think there was like some little area. I think it was like the very, 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 very last area we could find. It had overshot the gap, but ES had not. Let me check real quick. That's a good question. Yes, there's the low. Won't let me do that. Oh, fuck. There it is. Jesus Louise. I think we like went back and checked the replay here on like really low time frame to find it. Yeah, I think it was at the high of that doji or something. But it was mainly ES that I think we yeah, it was that it had left that open. So it was that doji was like the very last area that needed to be redelivered on the lower time frame. Still not a not a great like great balance area or anything. It's not high time frame, but it was, I think it was ES's ass that the way it reacted to that high and not the gap fill. I hate how they do that. Like I wish it would just always stay like the way you wanted it. So Tuesday, yeah. Oh, I remember this day. Oh yeah, that consolidation wrecked me. Yeah, I remember that day. The consolidation was savage. Okay, so if we look at ES here, and pull up the gap here. So something I teach about gaps is that the way that they'll really refill gaps, like fill gaps in, is like the previous high to the left is usually the first place that they'll bounce at. So we look here, this is the previous high to the gap, previous high to the left. Like this is usually where price will have some kind of reaction at, and then it will come back later and fill it in. So I think that it hit there. I think that did it some justice. And it also was a regular trading hour balance area as well. But yeah, it's really the market structure though. Like let's say it it hadn't broken the market structure. So I kind of look at it like in this order. So if redeliveries happened, especially on the higher time frame, I'm going to expect a rotation back up to redeliver, like somewhere upwards. So we kind of had like these three things kind of line up. So you had redelivery was completed. And then we had the market structure. Break. Because those strong highs on like the 3 and 10 minute, they're not going to break. Unless price is going to reverse. So strong high break. And then on top of that, you had the turnaround time. So from 10:45 a.m. to 11:15, you got to be careful because price likes to retrace during those times. So like these kind of three things together, it wasn't one of them. If all three hadn't kind of like came together in like this perfect storm, it would have been any of them together without one of the other would have been insignificant, but together made it significant. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, because it did overshoot it. Yeah. But the oh, this entry, the second entry. Oh, because it was like, oh, I'll explain. That's a good question too. Mm. Okay, so if we look here, right, like you have prices breaking down. There's a lot. That's actually a really good question because there's a lot that I just kind of take for granted that I don't really think about. So, boom, 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 boom. So we look here at the 10 a.m. here. Like prices have been coming down, really big move. You have like this clear leg of price down. Like it's really noticeable. Like this is probably leg one. This is leg two. So you now like have formed like complete structure to the downside. It's taken out session lows, and you like when it starts forming this, you go to like a 1 hour chart. You can kind of tell it's starting to one time frame down as well. Oh, where's that at? Maybe 1 hour is too high. Yeah, we're starting to one time frame down on the higher time frames, and you have like this clear area lower that needed to be redelivered. Especially like ES wasn't in the gap yet. So again, it's kind of like looking at both of them together that gave like the clear understanding. Because you're right, like like on the lower time frames, you'd be like, okay, we filled the gap. Why wouldn't it bounce here, right? I think it's the fact that ES is the leader here, and its gap was way down there. It hadn't filled it yet. And then just the overall structure and the way it was reacting. In that video, I walk through it step by step, but I believe from looking at it here, I would think that it was like just the overall order flow was very bearish, respecting the bearish kind of things. Because you have this balance area right here. So the main thing I think at this time, I was looking at like once support, flip to resistance here. And then you have this clear little baby bounce area here. So made for like a really low risk, high reward kind of entry. But you're right though, because it had filled the gap. There, like it had redelivered. Like there's a lot of things you would think that it was going to be bullish, but it had showed none of that on the, like it had the opportunity to do it, but it never actually followed through with it. So I think that's where you're like having a hierarchy of like, okay, redelivery, market structure, and not just taking one without, kind of like the wave down there too. Kind of combining the multiple, the multiple ways of reading the price action to get an understanding of it and combining them to get the full picture. 10:15. No, it's all good. This one here. Yeah, you could have entered on that one too. Yeah, that one's not that great, but I think on a lower time frame, if we drop down here, see how it deals with the price action here. Yeah, I would have only entered in there if I was like desperate to chase. But I don't think that's like a real horrible entry, but it's not. It's kind of tough. You'd have to risk up to there if you had entered in there. But still, you're gonna trend down. You can look at measured moves here and probably decipher that that's leg 1, 2, and 3, and then pull back in the 4. Yeah, but the main reason for expecting a continuation here would be ES versus Nasdaq. ES is the leader. It's probably going to redeliver down there. This isn't actually a bad entry here either. The one at 10.19. What do you mean by BA? What's a BA? Oh, gotcha. I'm at the BA around 10 a.m. Yeah, but that'd be the right, like all three of those together would be the best way to say it, because you'll like we'll go through the reversal here, and you can kind of see the price action will the way it responds to balance areas will kind of change here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the way that price action and the way it should when it's healthy and like expanding and not in a inside day and stuff. Where'd my tool things go? There they are. So like we have a consolidation above, right? And what price will do, what it should do is kind of like have a breakout phase where it has really small pullbacks. Like a lot of one time framing, and then it will kind of slow down. It'll get deeper pullbacks that kind of go into more of a channel phase, and then that channel phase will lead to a consolidation that then will lead to the end of the move down. So it kind of looks like that. Like this is a shitty depiction, but you get the idea. So you tight breakout, small pullbacks at first, and then deeper pullbacks that then lead to a channel that then lead to a trading range, that then another breakout happens, small pullbacks, fast moving price action, a lot of one time framing, bigger pullbacks that then lead to a range that then lead to a breakout. So it should go in this like kind of cycle like this. It's kind of like what happens here. So you had really a lot of one time framing, very small pullback, and then here you get another pullback, and then another pullback. Like it stopped going from really, big moves down to kind of two candles and then a pullback, two candles and a pullback, going from 5 or 6 in a row. It's really not a good example of what I'm talking about though. But what you'll see here is it goes from like like here, very small pullbacks, candles in a row, and then deeper pullback, much deeper than the previous one, couldn't even get up there, and then another deep pullback that then kind of like leads to like a trading range, except for Nasdaq doesn't pull back at all there. And then the market structure break is like the first sign. Well, there's actually a lot of signs before that. So price overshoots this balance area. Get the structure break there. Then it overshoots this balance area. So there's a lot of like indication of it being bullish. It's easier for me to show you in the moment. In the yeah, exactly. It's losing steam with every push down. Yep. Kind of fizzles out. Yeah. A lot of people don't like, a lot of people are so zoomed out on price action. Like they always have like a zoomed out look to it. You'll hear people, just last week I saw someone talking about low time frames for idiots. Like they just don't, they just can't read the information. That it's just, sometimes it is too much information, but most of the time it's not. It's just they don't like to read it because it can be misleading, but it always gives you some kind of clue. Okay, and then like you had the market structure break there, so that should be like the major thing, because these strong highs, like you'll notice, they stay intact on the way down, even the lower time frame ones, and then when they're finally done, you finally get the one break there, and then this is where I'd be like, we've had the high time frame cracking correlation. You got the downside gap's been filled. ES finally hit its. We're at the bottom of a trading range. But the problem is, if you were like watching my concepts and then ICTs, you'd be kind of screwed here, because you'd be thinking there'd be a liquidity run and it would just convolute your head. Not saying that you are, I'm just saying, like, for anybody listening, I would really highly urge you not to do that shit. And then the time of day is very important, because it's like pretty much known for reversals this time. And then I like how, what I really like here is it like goes back to the very last area it can redeliver to here, that needs to be redelivered. And it does it beautifully. So you had seller sell, buyers bought, seller sold, buyers bought big up. No, there'd been no retracement down here yet. And it gives you like this beautiful, perfect touch there, just like redelivering, closing that low time frame loop. It's quite beautiful. And then the one time framing up, just going through everything, pretty clean. And then even this little pullback here is very shallow. See, this is kind of like that breakout stage I was talking about, where you'll get this like very aggressive small pullbacks, a lot of one-time framing, that then leads to a little bit More pullbacks, kind of fizzling out. And that's like a really deeper pullback. We actually broke the low time frame market structure there. This will be like a SIR entry there. And you see how it went from like a breakout to more of like a channeling up. Al Brooks is actually the one I learned that from, like how to look at price like that. And then I got fucked up in this consolidation here. This was like a 2-hour consolidation. Yeah, almost 3 hours. My first entry, I think, was like right in here. And I got chopped up so bad in that. Oops, I wanted to go back and screenshot that. I forgot to. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. It'll be easier when I'm live when I can actually like step by step walk you through it. I would say that's one of like my best skills to do it is like walking through step by step in the moment price action. I think I have like a unique skill when it comes to that. Yeah, look at that beautiful redelivery right back to that low there. Absolutely beautiful. And you get the tick touch there. Fuck, fire. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, I just knew I shouldn't have been trading. Like I had made a bunch of money, I had no reason to trade, and I went back in. One of those days when you tell yourself, nah, I'm done, and then go back in and fuck it up. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened, dude. Just dumb. I usually don't even tell myself that shit anymore, but for some reason that day I did. Not smart, man. It's whenever you tell yourself not to, it's just like a second you lie to yourself, your like subconscious knows or something. It's really weird. All right. This was a A+ setup down, but I'm sick of this day. This day was not. Keep it cooking here. That move down was super fire too, because when we came into I came into trade the end of day drift, and I was like, "What the hell?" It's almost an SMC soup there. It's like very, very close. Jeez Louise. Sometimes during this pink box, a zero likes this shit. To trade during that pink box there. So right there, you had a beautiful crack in correlation. ES didn't take out the high, and Nasdaq did. And then you had this really nice, probably 10-minute balance area there. It had redelivered into. After you just had a SIR entry short there. After it had redelivered here, so you got strong high, market structure intact. And you got the SIR entry there, and then you get this like little one support flipped into resistance, redelivery entry there, half back to balance. I don't know why it went down. Kind of cherry picking here, but it is an A+ setup. I think it fits all the criteria. And this is a good example of what actually happens when stops are ran. This is what actually happens. Price explodes in the direction it's going. It doesn't reverse. Like you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days worth of stop losses built up, and price runs them and doesn't even flinch and continues down to redeliver. And then and only then will it reverse, completely disproving liquidity in any shape, form, or any matter. Like it's just not even a thing. It's just not it. Because if it was it, then price immediately after it ran, like how far past it did it go? Like 266 points past the stop losses? That's craziness, right? And I bet ES probably did the same shit. Yeah, it took a ES as actually kind of looks like one a little bit more. Oh, I went way too far. Price always gravitates back to these first pullbacks for whatever reason. But you had mad stop losses here. You had, so many equal lows. Like this would be like the perfect SMC soup or turtle soup setup where price would run liquidity and immediately reverse, but it explodes through it and creates it's like gasoline. Just like if you think about it logically and move the ICT bullshit out your head, it'll come to you. Like if there's buyers bought, sellers put sell stops under there, selling's already happening, more selling's introduced to the market. I mean, logically, what it's going to speed up because more selling goes through the order book quickly. It's like, so like, I don't know how I was so tricked for so long. Like, I don't know how he got me, but now I'm just like, what the fuck was I thinking? Because it's just so noticeable. Like you can see it in the volume profile. Like, it's just selling. There's no buying there. It's just all selling. Just all selling. Single print selling down. No buying actually even takes place until fucking 800 points through the... No, 200 points through the liquidity. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting how get manipulated like that into believing something that's a bunch of shenanigans. And then right here, you can clearly see why price redelivered down here. This huge balance area that needs to be redelivered. I think it might go through this one, I'm not sure. Yeah, it went through it. So this is what I think happens. So I do think that they set traps with the double tops and double bottoms, but I don't think it's to cause reversals. I don't think that's why it's there. I don't think it's so... So I do see them do this with strong highs. If you have, let's say you have price comes up and tests, because strong highs almost never break on the same pullback into them. I think that happens for a reason. So I think that they set these areas up as fuel. Like, if, let's say they wanted to move price, you know, 300-400 points down here, right? Like, let's say they want it to go down there. I think the way that they will do it is that if, like, they have price, like a strong low here, they'll come back, test it, make it look like price is going to break it, and pull back up, come back down, kind of test it again, pull back up, and then now you have this big kind of fuel station for price. And this is what I kind of think. I don't know if this is the truth, but I don't have any document. I don't have any like proof, just logical kind of like thinking through it and seeing how the way price moves. But yeah, so you kind of like think about these lows as like the fuel for a rocket ship. Instead of fuel for up, think about it for the fuel down. So these lows contain the gasoline for the rocket to get down there. So they build it up so they have enough gasoline, enough fuel for the move down to get there. And then when it finally breaks, you have each one of these is sell stops, right? Bunch of sell orders just waiting to be triggered. When buyers buy, they put sell orders there. They're going to stack up. And then once they're all triggered, it's going to hit the order book. And then at each price point, you have stacked orders, like limit orders here. And if there's enough orders here to take out the order book, price, because these are market orders when they get triggered, price will just go through them, right? It just like, you know, if dude had 500 or 50 or whatever orders, it would take out the 50 there. And then we had 50 there, take out those. And then take out those, then it takes out those. And if there's no one else willing to buy in the order book enough to handle all these orders, then it goes through it quickly, right? So I think that's kind of how it works in terms of like trap. I don't think it's necessarily a trap in terms of like wanting price to reverse here like ICT would say, but I think it's more or less to help price get to there. Because once these orders are triggered, it's then going to like free fall through the order book, because these orders would take out any resting orders in the book. And then this would be like a redelivery area. And then once it's redelivered here, then you would get the move up. But not because the liquidity is kind of like nothing to pay attention to, because the liquidity isn't actually what causes price to reverse here, right? The redelivery being completed does. So it makes no real sense to like think like this isn't a good target. If you're short here, this isn't a good target, because price is actually going to come down here. Should you be like looking for this, like to maybe if you were trying to catch like a really I don't know. Like I can't really think of much reason to focus on the liquidity when this is the reason if price is moving down. And then this is the reason that price is reversing. This is kind of like what's the point, you know? It's just a waste of my time and energy to look for this shit. Price doesn't reverse there unless it re-delivers anyways. That's just my kind of belief on it. And you can see that clearly. It's exactly what I just told you. Like you see it in the chart. Like price hits the stop losses and it does not by any means slow down or reverse. It does the opposite. It speeds up from the candles before the stop losses were like what, 20 points, and then after the stop losses the candles quadruple, almost 4 or 5 times bigger because it's all selling. Right? And then just because it ran that low there, the pink line's the daily lows, does not mean it reversed. No. Doesn't stop there. You know, there's no buying because it ran the lows, right? So it makes a bad target because price continues through that level. And lows are everywhere. And that's the other thing, is they're fucking everywhere. Like lows and highs are everywhere. So it's really easy and convenient. Really easy and convenient just to be like, yeah, it ran liquidity. That's why I hear, because you could say there's liquidity to every low and high. And if you look, that's probably the most prevalent thing on your chart is lows and highs. If you really look. So, yeah, just my thoughts on it, guys. You can do what you want with it. Waste your time if you want, but I spent years learning that liquidity shit. I actually have videos on my channel. You can go learn about it right now. From me talking about liquidity. I spent a long time talking about it, learning about it. It's just not very good. Unless you're a Forex trader. I think in Forex it makes sense and it is viable. Okay, so right here you have another SIR setup. No, I'm mistaken, you don't. That's not a strong high, never mind. What day is that? 29th? You have a high time frame cracking correlation. It has everything except for it doesn't have a low time frame cracking correlation. Unless price comes back down here and does 80% retracement and bounce. But I think it goes lower, I think. No, that's a SIR setup right there. That's a super fire one, man. The best person to learn volume profile is Future 71. I think his name is. He's the best in my opinion. Futures Trader 71 or 72, I think he's definitely the best. It's definitely worth learning. Or you could just read James Dalton's book. It's probably the best way to get it from the horse's mouth. He's the one that came up with it. I think he's got a really good, probably the best take on it. All right, so let's go through this SIR setup here because it's pretty fire. And you have the first pullback redelivery. This is actually a really, really nice move down on Wednesday and up. Yeah, we caught this on stream too. I remember this. I remember the setup here. So you had ES was kind of lagging. You guys can check this. Was this would have been the live stream from, what's today? 11th. Wednesday, so it would have been 1, 2, 3 days ago. So this big drop all started from this little tiny consolidation here. It's actually kind of cute. Kind of a cute little consolidation here. Like it all stemmed and started from this little baby consolidation. And then you, and it's just straight drop from there, like whoop, right down. And then so at the opening here, you had this very, very open area here. I originally had this as the balance area here. And as soon as it went into the area, and there's a gap too, I think. Yeah, there's a gap. I remember this. So there's a gap too. So I originally got cocky and went short, like as soon as the price got into the blue box here. And I kind of forgotten about the gap. So I went short as soon as it like tapped into the blue box. Like right here, I went short, and then I realized, oh shit, there's a gap. Price is probably gonna fill the gap before it reverses. So then I end up exiting in position, taking like a $600 loss, just exiting for no reason. Just because I had too much size on and got too cocky too quick. And then there's the gap fill, would have been right, the 4 p.m. closing price is right there, I think, yeah. So then right at the open here, we like shoot up, fill the gap in, and then we redeliver into that baby little tiny baby balance area. Nasdaq doesn't get anywhere near its gap or feeling it. It's like way down here. This is actually a really beautiful setup here too. This is another A plus. You had actually really good price action last week now that I look at it. So you could have entered in this a couple different ways. You could have entered as soon as it redelivered there, you could have entered in there. It had redelivered, filled the gap, third push up. You know, ES was in a broadening formation. It wasn't really trying to look very bullish. I did have some worry about the gap trying to be filled on ES, so I was a little bit worried about that. But you have 1, 2, 3 pushes up. So then at this point, the best thing to do, if you don't want to enter right there as soon as it touches there and breaks one time framing, so entering in like right here, best thing here to do would be find your strong low to be down here, wait for price to break the low. And then once it breaks the low, grab your fib, put it here, wait for the 70 to 80% retracement. That's your strong low break. It's exactly what we did. So there's your entry. And you have beautiful, beautiful area that needs to be redelivered lower. So first pullback of the move up right here. Again, this is a day we traded it to and fro. This ends up being the low of the fucking whole session. There's no strategy that would have got you in a better situation than the way we did it here. Is absolutely amazing. And then bada bing, bada boom, a lot of big pullbacks there. And then boom. And this is where I was talking about the open loop. So someone had asked, oh, what's his face? I think he's gone now, I think. He might be gone. Anyways, I'm not gonna talk about him anyways. He had asked about the open loops. This was such a good example of it. So before price had redelivered down here, we had an open loop where price, this low here, price had never interacted with it. like it needed to close this in. So you have, I think that's like a 15-minute one, and then you have the low time frame one here. So really clear it needed to redeliver down here. You got your first pullback of the move up. Price needed to redeliver on both the ES and NQ. Really noticeable, really clean. Strong high stayed intact here. So that's your hourly strong high. Gap fill, immediate rejection. Just like this is just checks all the fucking boxes. Both the up and down do. Yeah, just very, very clean setup here. You got the high time frame with the low time frame. So you got the low time frame SIR entry. The only thing is when it started out, you can go back to us trading it. I'm pretty sure I had max profit pretty early after entering in. So I just didn't have, I wish I had a funded account here because I would have murked it. But I think I held through that second pullback because I had scaled out. Yeah, so as long as you scaled out here and like then you could have re-added on these retracements as they it pulls back up to the strong high here, 70-80% retracement. You could have added back in if you'd scaled out down there. ES kind of led on the way down. And then again, you got your strong high there. Does like another beautiful 70% retracement. So if you had scaled out on the way down, you could have re-added back. And then you could see that the biggest move up on the move up there pretty much happened right here, right? On this one candle's like 120 points. This one fucking 1 minute candle's 120 points. So you know CME is like, nah, that we gotta fix that shit. That shit's gotta be fixed. We gotta re-offer price. And then boom, it's like it's so fucking coded into the market. Like it's just a beautiful example of it. And it's also a high time frame SIR entry here. If you go to 10-minute here, so 2 contracts, that was $12,000 down. That's crazy. So right here, this would have been your strong high on the 10-minute. This high led to the last low. Gets broken there. So you pull up your fib from the low to high. Boom, 80% retracement. Wait for one time frame to end here. Right there it ends. So you would have got the risk to reward off of this one was pretty crazy. I think either or entry took that last one, or you waited, or this first entry here. As long as you hadn't tried to cheat the stop and put your stop at the high, you would have been all right. So that would be like 6R. But if you had gotten in, or even got, I'm pretty sure I'd gotten shaked out on the first entry and entered on the second. But then it's like a 9R trade, so you could have took a couple of shots at that bitch before it happened. And then you have the high time frame cracking core. You have the cracking correlation here on the 10-minute. So ES takes out that low there. Nasdaq did not. Nasdaq did not take out this low. So here's the end of one time framing. I was hoping it would have broke the strong high here earlier, but it doesn't, unless you counted that, but that's not really a strong high. That would have been your strong high there. It might not give an entry here, I'm not sure. It looks pretty V-shaped recovery type shit. Yeah, it doesn't really even give an entry. So unless you gotten in on that pullback and like been watching on like the 15-second or something, because that's a 15-second strong high right there, but it never really gives you a pullback after that. It kind of just one time frames up. Yeah, neither does ES really. Except now ES is different. So ES is strong high, last strong high is right there. Yeah, that's your cracking correlation strong high right there. So that would have been your break right there. That would have been your entry. So you could have entered off of ES as either you could have entered on Nasdaq or ES. I use ES for my entries all the time. This is a good example of it redelivered the very last place it could. Now you look on this move up here, like, so you had this area needed from, this is a redelivery zone. That was a redelivery zone. That was a redelivery zone. And then it goes into the very last area and comes back to here. Nowhere left for it to redeliver lower. It's absolutely gorgeous setup. Like that's your entry right there. Just like this is like the third or fourth setup this week that was just like this. There's every reversal in the it's the same thing. It's the same thing as we just went over on the previous day. Like almost exactly. Like look at this. It's the one we just went over for like an hour. It's the exact same fucking setup to the tick. Like it's, I don't know, it's like textbook beautiful. My shit. So you could have caught the move down. I just don't think there's any other strategies that can get you to and fro that are going to give you the target and then give you the they give you the entry, the target, the re-entry, the target. Like, so you guys fucking with other strategies, I don't get it, man. And it makes you're searching for something else, but I would just say stick with one thing and stop fucking muddying your mind with a bunch of bullshit. Like, you can make money with other strategies. I'm not at all claiming that. I'm just like, I don't think trying to learn multiple strategies at once is going to do you any good. I think you just need to lock in. And if you don't want to trade my strategies, don't trade them at all or trade with someone else's. Like, I don't think going back and forth and mixing them together is going to do you any good. Yeah, so just, if you want to go fuck with ICT, go all in ICT. If you want to go all in Al Brooks, go in all on Al Brooks. You want to go all in my concepts, go all in. But mixing and matching is not going to work because it's just going to confuse you. I'm going to tell you this one thing, they're going to tell you another thing, and then they're going to tell you another thing. If you're mixing 3, 4, 5 different concepts and you're like, I don't understand. Like, why am I not profitable? Well, it's because they're not intertwined. The way I think about price is unique. The way ICT looks at price is unique. The way Al Brooks looks at price is kind of unique. The strat's different. I think at some point you should learn them all, but I wouldn't be trying to trade them all at one time. I think that's what took me so long, is because I would learn a strategy, master it, then get bored, think, oh, there's got to be something better. Then I go trying to find another thing, spend 6 months trying to implement that, fuck my whole trading system up, adding in new shit, spend another year trying to make it better, give up on that one, go find a new one, repeat the same process. Because every time you introduce anything new to your setup, or anything new to what you're doing, it raises your entropy, which just means the randomness, the chaos. It raises it because you're introducing more concepts, more ideas, that is raising the entropy. You in general want to be lowering the entropy, taking out and removing things that are unknown, right? Anytime you introduce more things, that it makes it unknown. That's why I hate the word context. The word context is just, to me, that's all I hear is entropy. That's all I hear is like high randomness, high uncertainty, high unknown. But we, as traders, we want to be lower in that as much as we can, to where we know exactly what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do it, how we're supposed to do it, without being confused, mixing concepts together. So I've seen a lot of traders like use my concepts, find success, and then they go through like a losing week or whatever, then they start fucking going around there, and then they never get payouts again because they were locked in and it worked for them, and then instead of just doing more of what worked, they kind of shifted gears and went the other way, which is, I probably would have done the same shit. I don't blame them. It's just like, and then you can't really revert back to it, especially these days. You guys have it so rough. Like, I'm glad I didn't have short form content. I could only imagine. Shit's crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Especially with, like, it's rough out there these days. Everyone does the math on a Discord or a trading course, and it becomes pretty clear you can make more money running a community than you can being a trader any day, and a lot easier. So you just gotta be really careful. The short form makes it worse because you're constantly being flashed winning trades that are, it's all a bunch of bullshit anyways, all faked. Most, not all of it, I'd say like 90% of it probably. And it's all trash, dude. So luckily we didn't have short form when I started. I didn't have to watch that shit. To me, it just drives me nuts even watching. It makes me angry as well. Because they'll use the you can like look like they all use the same little profit screen on their trade. Some of them are kind of moving away from it now that I've called them out. I did it on a live stream a couple weeks ago. But you can make a little profit box. So you go around your little profit on Trade of 8. And then they'll be like, oh, this is my account with 15 funded accounts in it. So it will show just their profit, and it will be up on their trading view screen. But like I did in that stream, I just went 15 demo account, or 15 contracts on a demo account. And my P&L was like plus $17,000 on a demo account, but you could not tell it was a demo account. You cannot tell. There's no way for you to tell because they're not trading on chart, are they? No. They don't want to do that. They don't want to trade on chart. God forbid that. So to set up that little box took me like an hour. It's a pain in the ass to have, like, you got to ask yourself, why are they not trading on the same chart? Like, why are they setting up a little profit box, moving its trading view, but they're copy trading on Trade of 8, but doing all the everything on trading view? You got to ask why. Why would they go through all that trouble if not to deceive you? Because I stream on, when I'm trading on Trade of 8, I stream on it. It's a fine platform to stream on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as like user friendly for like drawings and shit. But I definitely wouldn't be bouncing back for no reason unless I absolutely had to. So that makes you gotta understand, like, if they could trade without having to make a little profit box to deceive you, they probably would. If they could show it all to you and were able to do it, they probably would. Because no one wants, like traders, we want to remove doubt of us, right? So the only reason people would leave doubt available for you to interpret another way without proving it to you 100% would be to deceive you. That's it. That's the only reason. There's no other like logical reason why these fucks do that. You can automate these. I think you could. I don't think this isn't discretionary at all. It's a rule set. Market structure break, 80% retracement, wait for one time frame to end. I don't think there's anything really discretionary about it. S&C soup, nothing discretionary about it. I get what you're saying, but I don't think there's anything that's I've tried to remove almost all of it. There is some of it, like intraday drift isn't discretionary. This isn't discretionary. The only one that would be like discretionary is like the straight like half back to balance. That's just because I can't the drawing of the balance areas is hard to get a computer to do it correctly. But the SIR model is like, it's just if you can get the program to recognize strong highs and strong lows, you're good to go. Yeah, it's a strong. I got it all written down on Canva. Yeah, I would say the only strategy that I have that's like that is half back to balance, but that's just because you can't get the fucking computer to draw the balance areas. What strategy do you think of mine is like discretionary? Is that right? You know, trying to think of one that's like super discretionary. I think the only one would be the half back to balance, but we barely like usually pair it with something else to make it unless it's like really high time frame or something. But you kind of almost want some kind of discretion there too now because the AI systems, like I'm assuming that they're gonna suck out all the edge of that shit anyways. If it's super like pattern based, like like maybe like triangles or some shit, or like EMAs or RSI type shit, I would imagine that they'll eventually suck out some of the edge, but I don't know. I don't do enough of the algorithmic trading to really shit. That'd be the dream though. What was it doing? And you called me fat in the comment, bro. What is up with that, dude? You dick. Jesus. SIR model. He told me to go pick up some shit in my garage and then put it down and then pick it up again and lay off the soda. I don't drink soda, sir. Control. Validation. God, I can't see it. There it is, right in front of my face the whole time. Yeah, I think Captain Kirk, you might just not understand it quite all the way yet. So like a strong lower high is a low that creates a higher high. Pretty simple. And then let's wait for that to break. Very rule based. Not really much discretion left to it. Get rid of that. So you just wait for that low to break there. Your higher high, strong low. Takes it out. Draw a fib from that high to that low. It's just hard to get a computer to understand like which low to pick and why all that, but we don't have to worry about that because we're not computers. 70-80% retracement. And boom. But like I said there, like slides are easy, charts are messy, and like it's not like it's 100% there is some discretion, obviously. Like you don't want to take them all. Like you want to wait for redelivery, and then cracking correlation would make it much higher odds, but you could code it and have a bot do it if you really wanted to. That would be the goal. That would be like the ultimate goal eventually down the line. They're selling these services now for copy trades. What do you mean? Where do I put my stop? So I try to put my stop. I should always put my stop at the high, but sometimes I try to cheat. It never works out very well though, because you naturally will want to put your stop like, you know, especially if price like comes up there and kind of rejects a little bit. You'll like want to put your stop there, but I think you should put your stop at the high. You're better off putting it up there. Yeah, because that double tap shit, it depends on the day. That if Nasdaq's on a double tap day, like some day you'll feel, I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's double tap days and there's normal days. Let me screenshot this real quick. So like some days like Nasdaq likes to do like two pullbacks. Like this setup here would be a good example of this is not a double pullback day. Like a double tap. It just likes to double tap the fuck out of it. That's the wrong way. Jeez Louise. Yeah, but I think those high discretion context based setups are it's tough to trade that way. You gotta lower the rule. Like you should have like rules for everything, or else you're just gonna fuck up. I've tried it. I've tried trading like discretion. It doesn't work very well. Maybe for a little bit, but you eventually get tired or whatever. You gotta have rules. I know, right? I think that's coming though. I don't think we're far from it, bro. I think I could teach Claude or ChatGPT how to trade my strategy. They won't do it right now, but eventually they will. I think it's pretty close. All right, let me find a double tap day here. That's a double tap day. Yeah, it's a double tap day. So you'll like have these like where it looks like it's gonna reverse, and then price will bam, just come back and hit you again, and stop you out, and then go. These days are tough. I call them double tap days, just because the price action will just continuously do that, fake you out. Even on the best setups, like the best reversals, come back in and hit you again. Yeah, there's another one. But I think they're inside. They're probably inside days. Be a good way. Yeah, inside day. Inside day. Yeah, I think they're inside the previous day's range. That's what causes that probably. Okay, so we're right here. I didn't trade Thursday or Friday, so let's check it out. Yeah, beautiful. There's the target hit for the and with the SIR, the target, like to test it, I had to have like a straight. You can't test a strategy with kind of dynamic target, or else it just won't be accurate. So I always made the target the previous high or low. But you could apply that with redelivery and it get a little bit more out of it. That's the SI. That's the SMC soup setup there. Never mind. No, it's not. That is the Asia session turn, a really late one though. All right, this morning was like savage. Thursday morning, I'm glad I didn't trade it. I'd have been super bearish on that. You can already tell. I think both these both those wicks down happened on this first hourly bar there. So right at the turnaround time. Both at the turnaround time. Both after price had taken out the pre-market high. Because it had redelivered, not because it ran the pre-market high. This is another good example of like price needed to redeliver. It hadn't closed in this loop yet. It's a good example where people would say, oh, it reversed because it took out this high. That's why it reversed here. But this one hit it exactly perfect and then reversed. And it went 180 points past the previous high without reversing. I would argue that it was more likely the redelivery. It's kind of interesting. Those are both at the same time and everything. So this is beautiful redelivery here too. Both this to and fro on that is fucking really nice. Yeah, so you can see here that you had from this doji, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles in a row. And then price redelivered it. Tink, boom, redelivered. So this is such a good example of like what I'm talking about. Hopefully you can see it here. Let's look at this. Just shows how like coded this shit is. And so price hasn't redelivered up here. It needs to. You had 8 1-hour candles in a row. Hits it to the tick. This has been redelivered. That's been redelivered. There's only one area where balance happened. It had more than 3 candles in a row. So you got balance. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row. And it does it like so, with such precision. Like, look, it's just fucking beautiful. Taps it and then reverses and continues in the same direction. It's also a broadening formation. Yeah, Thursday was pretty fire, man. That beautiful little baby broadening formation there. Damn, that's 600 points, to and fro. So to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. So 1, 2, 3 days out of the week, you could have traded the move up and down. I don't want to recommend it. I would just catch one of them and just call it. Not be a greedy fuck, but you could have. Let's see if there's any gaps to go with it. Yeah, because you can trade with it or to it. So, and that's a gap fill too on that. That's actually super fire. Yeah, so if you can, if you're close enough to it, like sometimes something I'm trying to work on doing is actually trading with it. So like sometimes I'll just watch it go. Like let's say I was late to this setup here. And even though I knew it was coming down here, I would just like watch it happen. And then watch it move like 300 points without me. So I'm trying to work on that to like, if I can get an entry in there, not especially on the upside moves, like especially this one here. I probably would, not last week, but the week before, I probably would have just watched it open up and been like, oh, it needs to go there, fill the gap, redeliver, not trade it, and just watch it cook. So it's something I'm actually trying to work on, is like if I can identify where it's going with high odds because of redelivery, and can get a low risk, high reward entry. But it's just a matter, I just have an issue with the longs and being late to them. I don't know why, but even though that's like a long ways away, right? It's like, even if you got down here, it's still 100 points. Yeah, it's a tricky open there though. But if we read the clues here, I'm sure it isn't that tricky. Yeah, so you're cracking correlation. Yes, redelivered perfectly into this area. It's like a 50% retracement. Yeah, it definitely would have been a little tricky because I probably would have got a little bit short bias there. Yeah, it's hard though with Nasdaq, especially with the ES, not so bad. Something I'm trying to work on is not be so focused on entering on Nasdaq, because ES, you just add more contracts, the same shit. You just get a little bit more. I don't know if you'd ever done the math on it, but you get like a little bit more. For every dollar risk, you get a little bit more return, but it's not that much. But ES is a little bit chiller, so you could like hop on the bus. Fun fact, I actually quit my job via trading ES. I never even traded Nasdaq until after I quit my job. And then I got hooked on it. But I quit my job 100% trade with ES. I actually think ES is the better asset for new traders by far. Yeah, it's way less wiki and nasty, and way less It's just a better trading product all the way around. But Nasdaq, like I think I can't. Does anyone remember? We did the math on it on one stream. We measured how much you would have to risk to enter in with 2 contracts of Nasdaq and then 2 contracts of ES. Did the whole math, came up with it all, and then it was like Nasdaq was like 20 to 30% more profit for each dollar of risk, which is it's quite a bit. It adds up, but you know, when you get stopped out, one stop out is quite a bit of money. You know, does it make up for that that extra 30%? It's hard to say. So this is another 3 pushes. We saw this earlier in the week, where you had the 3 pushes up into the pretty early in the morning reversal there. I think it was Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, Monday had a very similar setup there. God, man, I hate how it moves all the time. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. It's actually, this is actually way different. Now that I look at it, it's way later in the day. This one would have been tough because it didn't, it did break, like if you look at that in 30-second, you could say it's a strong low. I try not to do that because the 30-second ones give false signals all the time. The lower time frame ones tend to give false signals. So ES actually had a beautiful redelivery there too. So there's really no 1 minute strong low break. You would have had to have essentially, this is it is a strong low, and it was the last one before a break. It's just kind of a, you could have had like if you looked at that one, that kind of low, it's the same kind of low you had here, which gave you a false signal. But if you use the one time framing for this, so if you notice here, if you waited and you just blindly enter as price was coming up here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here is like a false signal. So if you use this low here as your strong low, it's got, it is a swing low essentially. So you have a wick on the left, and then you do have a wick on the right here, but it's like way far up there, but it still counts. So you could count it as like it's just kind of like a weird ass looking strong low. But it would have gave you a false signal here. But if you use the one time framing and wait for it to end and wait for it to end before you enter. So if you put your fib here and you're like, okay, I'm gonna enter on the 70%. If you set a limit order there, you would get triggered in and get stopped out. But if you hadn't, it immediately violates it, and it's not a good trade. All right, and then prices are redelivered. You get your strong low break. Wait for one time framing to end. I think it's waiting for one time framing to end is very important. If you don't do that, then bam, it's just big money, man. Fucking one time frames down the whole way. I have a funded account with Take Profit Trader just waiting for me too. Had it Thursday, had it Friday, didn't trade it. All right, so this was a, I don't know if I would call it A++, but it's decent. So you had the, I think there's a cracking correlation there. Yeah, because ES is way down here. So you had that high time frame cracking correlation, which every A plus setup tonight did. Then you have the redelivery. And it's a little bit early. It's kind of interesting, 10:06. And then you had the loop close, balance, redelivery. And then low time frame CIC, and then the SIR entry. And then redelivery targets. So if you notice, every single one of these like A plus setups is kind of like got the same, it's the same list, right? It's just about, we'll go, like I'll give you guys the folder I have. It's just full of this shit now. It's pretty much the same list every time. Oh, and it's a broad information. I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna fix it, but it's all right. Now, obviously, you'd scale out along the way. Like obviously, like goes without saying. So yeah, I'd say on average on this last week's, it's like 7 arc trades on the A plus ones. And it's like, I'm not saying like I would have caught every one of these, but this is why we study, so we can. Like the goal is to catch these. What this does is it just trains you to be ready to, like, when you see these lists of shit playing out in front of you, like this is the best way to learn to recognize it. That's why I did this. I do this every week. I've been doing it since I first started trading. I recommend what you guys do is every day before Asia opens, spend like an hour going, maybe 30 minutes, an hour going through like what was the best setup of the day and why. And then go through it step by step, just like we did here. Type it out on the chart, annotate it, act like you would have traded it. And then you eventually will start finding the best setups of the day. You'll develop your own strategies because you'll start seeing patterns that no one else is seeing because they're not studying price like that. Now let's see if it gives you an entry here. I don't think it's going to. So this is that V-shaped recovery type. Like I need to come up with another name for it because the rule set's completely different, but it's strong high break there. And then you get like this 50% retracement, and it will start respecting a trend line is what you'll notice. Like you put a trend line here. Like I would say that this is a relatively dangerous entry, but if it pulls up and then pulls back to the trend line and holds it, this entry right here is relatively safe. I don't know why it does it. Sometimes it does come all the way back down, but if it's really aggressive, it won't. Yeah, it just takes off like a V-shaped recovery. Like this, such a V-shape. Boom. And then boom. Super V. I would still take that 50% retracement if it had everything I was looking for, like a crack and correlation. Yeah, I don't know if I would have done that on that one though. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it needs to go down so bad. Yeah, that would have been tough. Yeah, I will for sure. Yeah, it's probably the most, like, right, Beans is probably the most important thing you can do is because I don't know how else you get better. I really don't think demo trading helps. I think it makes it worse. I will always hold that, no matter how many people say no, how many people disagree. I don't give a fuck. I guarantee it. You don't know any profitable. Find a profitable trader that still demo trades. They just don't exist. Like, they don't do it. Like, everyone grows out of that phase and they just kind of leave it alone. Because at some point you realize they're not the same. Like, demo trading and trading are not the same. So it does you no good, right? Like, what I mean by demo trading is, like, in a live market, you are pretending to trade. Like, I'm not talking about what we just did there. That's studying. I'm talking in a live market, you're pretending to take setups, which is fine when you first start out. But after a year or so, or 6 months, you gotta let it go, because it's just not good. I don't think it helps. I could be wrong, and it could help people, but I just know a lot of my issues are from that shit. I think if traders actually learned how to trade first without starting on demo, I think demo, what happens is it creates an unneeded shortcut. Before demo, you probably just had to wait until you saved up the money, till you understood what trading is, what profitable trading looks like, or you went in the market and lost it, and then you had to learn anyways, so you were stuck just learning again, right? But what demo did is it created like this unnecessary shortcut that isn't actually a shortcut, because it's not the same thing. So it confuses your brain to think it's the same thing, but then all of a sudden all these emotions are like, boom, smacked into your fucking head, your heart racing, you're fucking all nervous and shit, and your brain's like, whoa, what is going on? That's not what I remember. Like, this is not, whoa, 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 whoa. And then now you're all fucked up in the head doing shit you were doing on demo because you think it helps you in real trading, but it doesn't really. And then you're all fucked up, and then you lose a bunch of money, and then you get in this cycle of fuckery, tilting out of nowhere all the time. And then it takes you like 4 years to become profitable, when you could have just not demo traded and waited and learned how to actually trade, studied price like this, spent 6 months to a year doing it instead of spending 4 of failure. That's just my opinion. I think that's the way it goes. It did for me. So I don't think you're finding traders that are actually profitable at demo trade. You may find gurus that are demo traders, but I'm talking a profitable trader that does not fucking sell a Discord, okay? Like, that kind of, like a real trader. Like, I just don't think they exist. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. I get so many people arguing with me this and they get so mad. And I can tell they're the ones that are they're demo traders that are doing that are still struggling and getting mad at me when they should be thinking, fuck, maybe he's right. Maybe I should stop demo trading. Like, it just sucks. There's no way to get good at this. Like, the only way to get good at this is either to do it or to study. Like, you can't, unfortunately, there's just not a cheat code. I wish there was, but yeah, that's what my issue was, dude. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Tricks your brain into thinking it's okay to dig sling, take wild, mindless trades. That's exactly what I did. So then when I got stressed out, you revert back to what you know when stress hits for whatever reason. So if you were like me in demo, just like 4 contracts, 10 contracts, mindless, kind of playing around, scalping. That's all I ever did, like just messing around with it. Testing strategies, but not taking it serious, you know. Then when I get all stressed out, I'd be like, why did I just fade why did I just fade a trend day up for 3 hours straight and blow all my accounts? Probably because that's what I did in demo, and it was just like I was having, like, playing around. So I don't know. take it or leave it, guys. I don't know. I know so many traders that are unprofitable that still demo trade. Like a huge, I would say 70% of people that are unprofitable, it's probably 100 actually, are still demo trading once a week. And it may not be their fault. They might not have accounts, which I know how that goes. I've been there too. But when you got like Bullnox selling them for, a 50K account for $18, like, just wait till you can buy one, and they keep it better off. Or even better, go open a micros account or an options account or a crypto account. Like, you can trade Nasdaq on crypto now, like with a minimum of $5 trade. And then you can also do it on, let me see if this one has no limits. Like, there's no minimum, I don't think. Let me look. I'm not sure if you can, I know you can trade gold on there, but I'm not sure if you can trade Nasdaq. Can't remember the name of it. But they have really high leverage, so you could like put like $2 in and get like $2,000 to trade with. And then at least then you at least have something at risk, so you're not setting yourself up for failure, trying to fuck your brain up. Oh, Avantis. Which just also gets you points towards the upcoming Coinbase airdrop that's coming up soon. But I don't know. I was told by Abstract they're going to do an airdrop. I was told by Pump Fund they were going to do an airdrop. So I'm pretty much like, fuck airdrops. But last year I made like $8,000-$9,000 from airdrops just in the past years trading with these little weird platforms. On the base app, they don't make you have a VPN, but for whatever reason on the website they do. Commodities, indices, there you go. So it's like 25x. So you could trade Nasdaq, and there's no minimum. No, minimum is $1. Hold on. I'm gonna take that back. There's no way the minimum position size is 300. Yeah, it's not right, because I trade Bitcoin all the time, and there's not a $100 position size. I would argue that there's none. Anyways, there's lots of little platforms like this that you can like trade very small amount. Let me just double, I gotta check this real quick. Where the fuck is the docs at? Jesus. Yeah, but there's a lot of platforms like this that have indices like Nasdaq, stocks, all of it. And because of the base app, it's really like simple now. It's not like a whole complicated shit like it used to be. But I will warn you, this is the easiest way to lose a whole bunch of fucking money is trading the cash count. It's much cheaper instead of putting 20 bucks into here to spend the same amount of money on a Bullnox account. Like, just letting that be known. Where's the fucking airdrop shit? Alright, guys, if you guys got any questions, put them in the chat. No. I'll do this later. Sorry, I was trying to check the airdrop thing. Oh, fucking wallet. That's crazy. But anyways, there's like this platform. There's a million different ones. I just like this one because it's on base and it's pretty easy to get set up because you can just download the base app and get rocking with it. But I will, like, I didn't warn people well enough before. I will warn you, like, if you're not profitable, you should probably avoid this shit. But it is better than demo. But you can lose like all your money really quickly, really easily, because it is leveraged and there's very high risk with it. I already claimed it. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, but anyways, Base is doing an airdrop at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but at some point they'll release an airdrop. Yeah, I'll give you guys the link to this shit. But again, I want to warn you, you can lose money very quickly. Like, I've lost a lot of money trading on this platform. Back in the day, they used to have such good like airdrops and stuff that you could like trade on here for risk free. It's unfortunately not like that anymore. I don't know what you get for using my code. I don't know if you get anything, but yeah, I've lost it's part of like when my mom passed last summer. It's part of my downfall was crypto. Because once my funded accounts are gone, I started spinning down the spiral and cash was just like at hand. So I just started, you know, move 10 Solana over into my wallet. Oh, then 10 more. Then oh, now I got to buy crypto to move it over there. Then I started buying it and then it just sped up, dude. Whereas if I would have just bought more valuations, I probably would have been all right. You don't have to report all this shit. It's on chain. You're good. Maybe with Base, you might if you connect it to your Coinbase account, but you don't have to, so it'd essentially be off the books. I assume at some point they'll learn how to find people for that, but right now it's off the books, as far as I know. Tax free. But I think they look at it like no one makes money anyway, so most people don't make money. Because it's on chain, it's he's the man at like helping you. Where'd he go? Oh, he's gone. He's really good at hiding his identity. Hey, what up, homie? What up, my dude? Oh man, rough day, bro. Yeah, we were just looking at last week and how fucking dope it was, dude. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to and fro trades last week. 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You could have traded a to and fro. Perfect 300-point pullbacks, dude. I didn't trade Thursday or Friday though. I haven't even looked at Friday yet. Yeah, but be careful with crypto. I think you can lose a lot of money very quickly. I didn't give people enough warning like 3 summers ago when there was an airdrop thing. Pretty much you could trade for free. Like I would lose money and still make like $5,000 a week on this shit. But people didn't take my advice until that had passed. And so then people picked it up like 6 months later and like, I don't understand. How do I get my money back? And I was like, well, it ended in July. It's September. What do you mean? And then, yeah, so I felt bad because some people lost a bunch of money. But I should have been like, I was just like, look, free money, guys. Like, I don't think I explained it well enough. Which it was like free money. It was one of the greatest summers of my life. Just fucking amazing. They would reward you based on your trading activity. So as long as you like, and they had competitions every week, and I'd win like every week. So then I'd get a bonus on top of my trading activity. It was like $6,000-7,000 a month just from the. And if I was profitable that week, then it was even like shit. A boom, big money. And last year I got a huge airdrop from doing that. That was like $6,000-7,000 too at the very end of it. But airdrops are dead, dude. I'm done with airdrops, man. Bunch of bullshit, dude. Abstract ain't said shit. Punk Fun ain't said shit. Me and Eric got like $1 million coming from a fucking pump fund, dude. He ain't never gonna pay us. Yeah, it's really pretty easy. If you wanted to be really sneaky about it, you could you like download a Proton email, but it's all, as long as you have a VPN active, you should be good. So because the wallet keeps you hidden, right? So the wallet, like if I wanted to sign up for a new wallet, um, you just like whatever wallet. There's a bunch of them, but none of them require anything, but you sign up for it and that's it. So there's like no way to track you unless you like willingly give the information to them, but it's on chain, so it's just what do you do with the money? So this is the issue. Like it's when you want to put it into cash is the issue, but you could keep it in a crypto untraceable forever. But there's ways, like there's Tornado Cash, there's here, I'll get you the email he sent me, dude. It's not him, it was a different, I was thinking of Chris, a different dude. Let me tag him in the chat. He knows how to explain it better than I do. I don't understand what he's saying. I just haven't seen him in forever. The Australian dude, where's he been? Huh. I don't know. Maybe he let his shit run out. Hope he's alright. I don't know. He's gone, dude. I don't know where he went. It's super weird. Yeah, it's wake up and where's he at? Has anyone talked to him? Wake up and plug. Yeah, he's gone. I don't know what happened. That's super weird, dude. And he's gone off my DM list too. I just talked to him like not that long ago. There he is. That's super weird. I don't think he would just leave without. He probably, you know what happened? He probably got mixed up with the people that hadn't paid, even though he's on the Market Masters, so he probably accidentally got kicked out or something. I don't know. So I have my DMs to sit if you're not in the group, you can't DM me, so he probably tried. Yeah, but he's like one of my most profitable students. I don't see why he would and one of my first like ever one-on-one mentoring students, so I don't think he would leave for no reason. That'd be really, unless something happened to him. That's weird. Yeah, I was just talking about poker like not that long ago. He's killing it, trading and poker. Yeah, but he knows what's up when he comes back. Yeah, I have the email right here. I just don't You saw him in a stream? Yeah, but anyways, it's really easy. You just download Proton email because it's let me do this. He actually made a full post about this in the Discord at some point. Yeah, but anyways, you just sign up. It's really simple. You just sign up for Proton email, download a VPN, and then any kind of like, if you choose to go with the wallet where you gotta sign in, you do that. If you just search Proton crypto hidden identity, you'd be good, dude. Like that's, it's pretty simple. The blockchain's already set up to pretty much shield you, so as long as you don't, but they're getting your money out the market is a little bit trickier, but my voice is going out. You saw him in a stream, that's crazy. I don't think he would leave on purpose, dude. I don't see like why he would do that. But maybe it's time to move on, I don't know. What is this?
We get food.
Yeah, babe. Alrighty, guys, I gotta get off here. I'll figure out what happened to him. He's around here somewhere. Yeah, it's not a fake email. It's a real email. They just shields your identity, but it's pretty simple. A quick Google will take you through it, dude. It's like not that hard. Just have a VPN in, and then put your money into there's several different cryptos like Zcash. There's another one. Ask me again when I'm not tired, and I'll be able to answer you better. A little bit mentally exhausted here. Yeah, but you can definitely do it. It's just a little bit of workaround. Yep. All right, so we'll do the Sunday market prep, same time as always. Should be already scheduled. I apologize about Thursday and Friday. I had planned on streaming. I just had stayed up working on that Lucid video all night and it messed up. I didn't fall asleep until like 3 a.m. Set the alarm. Just gonna close my eyes for a second, and then boom, woke up and it was like 4 p.m. And then Friday, pretty much, because I woke up at 5 p.m. on Thursday night. I stayed up to like 1 and same shit happened, but I got funded account waiting, so that ain't gonna work. But I apologize about that, guys. But as always, I will always make a post before I go live, so don't wait around for me forever. And then I'll post this as soon as YouTube gets it uploaded. I'll post in the VIP section for you guys. Alrighty, guys. I will catch y'all later. All right, peace out. And if you would like to join my VIP section where I do this every single day, you can. Let me give you guys the link. All right, here you guys go. And you can join me. I would answer questions, but my voice is starting to go out. I've been on stream for now like 3.5 hours, something like that. My voice is going out. If you, I'll answer your guys' questions. If you're still here in the chat and you would like to, well, I don't care, TD Expediting. If I cuss, that's who I am. If you want to watch a guru, go watch a guru. I really don't care, dude. Thank you for your feedback, though. You don't like cussing, go watch a guru. Should care really a lot. You should care a lot less about my cussing, and more about what you're learning, right? There's actually an app that you can add that will take care of that. That you just download as an extension. If you don't like cussing, it'll automatically blurt it out. But I talk how I talk to you. I'm not a guru. I'm a real human, profitable trader. I don't need your money, so I don't need to watch my mouth, okay? But if you still have questions, you're in the chat. I'll give you guys a second to put them in the chat and I'll answer them. It's in here somewhere. Ah, there it is. So you pretty much just activate this here, and it's actually pretty cool. And it will like listen to my voice, and then if I'm say a cuss word, it will like, you can blurt it out with another word, or you can just have it make a beep sound. It's kind of cool, actually, if it really bugs you that much. Because I don't want to bother you, right? I do want to help you and teach you, but I'm not gonna like avoid cussing. It's just not my personality. So I don't know if you guys still have questions. Anyone here still have a question? Please put it back in the chat. I'll give you a second to ask. Average view duration is 7 minutes. Crazy. What is the turnaround times? The turnaround times are, let me pull them up for you. I'm actually about to make a YouTube video about them, probably after I get out of this video here. So they're not macros. Every time I make a video about this, like macros, but macros are like something's going to happen at the top of every hour, right? Like they have their little third 20-minute, 45-minute window, varies. Which originally were kill zones, which ICT just modified to every hour, where they're saying something will happen within that hour, right? Don't know what, but something will happen, which is really just means it can never be wrong, can always be right, but it doesn't really give you an edge, right? What I'm telling you is price will reverse during this time with a high consistency. I would say like one of them happening throughout the day is like, 4 out of 5 days. Like either reversal will happen here or here. Both of them is like 3 out of 5 days of the week. But it's essentially the time of the afternoon rally. I don't know, old timers probably know what I'm talking about. Like guys have been in it for a minute, but the newer guys, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it's just like the order flow changes, the institutional order flow. It changes around these times, and like the first one is the change of the morning. If it's been a down session, you will usually see it flip and go bullish. And then, yeah, so like right here's a good example. And then it will like flip sides. And then that's one where it happened one time a day. If it happens both times, it's more like this. So here it is, turnaround time, and then the afternoon turnaround time, where you have a down morning, afternoon rally, continuation. Does it? Okay, I feel you. I guess I don't even notice I do it, but yeah, I appreciate the feedback. I don't want to chase y'all off. Any more questions though, guys? How do you FOMO? The FOMO goes away once you kind of understand that there's unlimited opportunity. Well, there's only like, as you look today, when we were going through the study session, there was A++ trades that are like make your week kind of trades. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then probably another 2 and so 10 of them. But there's like medium trades that are like really good trades that are pretty much all day. Like if you just are like, it's all day. There's unlimited opportunity is the best way to say it. So I still do get it sometimes, but the market is abundant, meaning ultimate abundance. It's never going to end. So there's no reason to have FOMO. There'll always be another setup. There'll always be another opportunity. You want to kind of like phase out of that limited mindset. A lot of traders have that are teaching, and it's unfortunate. You kind of want to go with like a million jillion opportunities, because that's really what's at your fingertips. Unlimited ATM to take money out the market. All right, I think that will do it, guys. Yeah, if you want to join the VIP, the link is there. I've been letting a lot of people have access to the YouTube, but that's coming to end at the end of the week. So I'll definitely join. It's cheaper than an eval, and values there. I stream live every day.